Can't stop this train, and I wouldn't want to if I could, folks. Hey there, I am the Mighty Plantain, and we've got something from Cushnoc Brewing in Augusta, Maine. This is No Breaks, No Breaks. It's a DDH sour IPA. I believe DDH stands for double dry hopped. We're looking at 7.3% ABV. And hazy, soft, and tart. So we know what to expect. It's got a lovely label. Now these guys used to do just a very plain, very recognizable label that had their logo on it, the name of the beer, and each one would have a slightly different color. Now they've started adding some very interesting artwork. And I kind of like it when little smaller breweries do this. I never know, because I never bother to look it up, if it's like a local artist or if it's somebody who works at the brewery or what. But it's kind of nice to just have something really interesting. I mean, no breaks, no breaks. You got a freaking beer truck that looks more like a converted beer van, a Volkswagen bus to be exact, driving away from a volcano that's launching flaming skulls and flaming kegs at them. I'm sure there's a story there, but it's an interesting graphic. Plus, somebody's getting paid for that, whether it's, again, somebody who works at the brewery or another local artist. Somebody's getting paid for that. And it's more interesting than some of the other cans out there. So there's a handful of breweries doing that, and I really like it when I see it, that they're just doing some nice artwork. It might not be something that I'd buy and put on my wall, but it's still an interesting aesthetic. Pardon. We're getting into winter here, folks. It's getting a little coffee. So anyway, Cushnoc's got some really, really solid beers. They're right in Augusta, Maine, the state capital. Yes, Augusta, not Portland or Bangor. Augusta's the state capital, even though it's smaller than those two cities, but it is more centrally located. A lot of people from away don't know that. They assume it's Portland or Bangor. Anyway, yes, Cushnoc's located right in Augusta, Maine. And if you ever get a chance to visit them, there's an annex out on Route 3. There's the main facility on Water Street. Wait, no, they're further up. I don't think it's actually Water Street. But anyway, there's the main brew pub. They have some amazing pizza there. But the one place you want to make sure to go is the tasting room. The tasting room is down and back of the main restaurant. You can't get there through the main restaurant. You actually have to go outside, go down and around some steps or down a street to get into the waterfront area where you literally can see the Kennebec River, where during some times of the year there's a possibility the entire parking lot back there floods. It's like an old loading dock type atmosphere, but as soon as you walk into the tasting room, long wooden tables with like this old 18th century fort type feel to it. Wrought iron electric lights now, but what look like old gas lights or torch sconces, similar type of thing. It's just this amazing feel. You feel like you're underground in an old style bunker type fort, and you come to the back, they've got beers that they don't have on tap upstairs, beers that are not on tap out at the annex, and they've got the crowler filler. That's where you can get your nice crowlers full of whatever they've got in the tasting room, pretty much. Hit it up. I know, I talk about this every time I think every time I do a Cushnoc video, I talk about the tasting room, but I'm telling you guys, if you get to Cushnoc, that's the one place as a beer aficionado or a craft beer enthusiast, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, that's the one place you want to go, is that tasting room. It's fucking awesome. Again, not to take away from their regular taps, their regular beers, and the pizza that's served at the main brew pub, but tasting room, that's my happy place. Anyway, we might want to get to this beer before it goes completely flat. I didn't get a good head on that. And it's not getting replenished too much. It's slightly effervescent, just a few bubbles coming up from the bottom. But it's got that slightly hazy, light yellow color, maybe a straw-colored beer, I guess I would say. For double IPA, it's interesting that it's got such a light color, although the haziness is what I would expect. But I've been... Sorry, I think I got hiccups starting here. I got to tamp those down. All right, hopefully those are gone. But I had another really light-colored... an Imperial or a double? Anyway, I had another really light-colored beer that I didn't expect to be so light-colored just earlier this evening. And it was impressive, so I'm thinking the same thing's going to happen here. Double IPA, or a double dry hopped IPA. That's lighter in color than I would have expected. So, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever actually gotten a smoky aroma off of an IPA that wasn't specifically barrel aged or toasted or something like that. I'm actually getting a smoky aroma with undertones of earthiness there. Yeah, it's definitely smoky. That's different. Wow. In case you couldn't tell, I'm really liking that. It smells smoky, and I'm loving that. That's amazing. I don't think it was barrel aged. No Breaks, No Breaks is inspired by constant motion and perpetual change. Pillowy oats, maybe that's what I'm getting, is like some roasted oats, give structure to a lightly puckering sip, while loads of Galaxy, Idaho 7, and Zaka and Mosaic hops carry things home with evolving waves of tropical and fruity aromas. That's weird. Maybe it's the oats that I'm picking up on for that roast, that smoky aroma, because that's what I'm getting is smokiness. Interesting, because they're saying I should be getting tropical and fruity aromas. All right, so we're going to drink it and see if that changes. It's got a nice medium mouthfeel. Up front, I'm definitely getting that sour pucker. But there's also like a hint of saltiness behind it. That's, again, something that they're not saying I'm supposed to pick up on the label, but I'm getting saltiness. Okay, that's different. I'm definitely getting the sour. Like I said, a little bit of pucker factor, like they said on the can label. But there's a hint of saltiness behind it. But as I'm drinking it, this is smelling more fruity. I don't know, maybe I'm just having a stroke, but I definitely got smokiness off of it first, and now I'm getting fruity, coconut. I'm definitely getting that tropical aroma now. It's more like the sweetness, not necessarily sweetness, but just that coconut aroma, I guess. It's not sweet, but there's a certain flavor to coconut. There's a certain smell to coconut, and I'm getting that aroma from it now. Maybe with hints of some tropical fruitiness as well. More like hints of pineapple or something. And again, there's that nice pucker up front followed by a hint of saltiness, a little bit of sweet fruitiness, some tropical notes to that, and then it finishes with a grassy flavor for me. That's interesting. This is a very complex beer. I'm picking up on stuff that's not even close to what they've got on the label. But that's, again, beer taste is subjective. You aren't necessarily going to taste exactly what they tell you you're going to taste. And everybody likes different things. So, me in particular, I'm more keyed to citrus and pine hop esters than anything else. So, in a well-blended IPA, I'm going to get citrus and pine stronger than most people would. In this, I'm keying in on some flavors that aren't necessarily in the description on the label, but I am getting what they say is going to be there. So, I'll also say it's going to evolving ways with tropical and fruity aromas. I'm a little blown away by some of what I was getting, the smokiness and the aroma at first, which aren't necessarily supposed to be there. The saltiness after I get that nice punch of sour. And then the grassy notes in the finish, which aren't necessarily mentioned here. I am slightly picking up on the tropical notes and the fruity notes. There's a little bit of sweet fruitiness with the tropical overtones in the middle there. But I'm smelling coconut off of this after the first couple of sips, and that smoky aroma faded. Bottom line is, this beer has got a lot of different flavors to it, different aromas to it. They're both changing on me. And again, I'm picking up on stuff that they're not necessarily mentioning I should. So I've got to give it the wow. I've got to give it that slightly mind-blowing, but mostly because of confusion. I don't know if I'm nuts or if I'm just keying in on stuff that they didn't expect people to. So I've got to hit it with the 5 out of 5. It's unexpected. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a standalone. Let's remove the description from this whole thing. Just drinking this without knowing what I was supposed to taste, I would have loved it. It's different, it's unique, and it changes as I drink it. The fact that I'm not keying in on some of the things that, well, I am keying on everything they say I should, but I'm keying in on things that they didn't mention in the description. That's messing with me. Okay, there's a skip in the video there. I think this actually happened with the last Cushnoc brew I did too. The furnace for this place is just a couple of walls over, and there's a bathroom in between, but it gets really loud. Interferes with the audio on the camera, so I have to stop in between. But again, as I was saying, full 5 out of 5 from me for this beer. Hit me up down in the comments, the email link down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it yourself. Let me know if I'm completely friggin' nuts or what. Am I picking up on stuff that I shouldn't be? Am I having a stroke? Did the previous beer I had this evening mess with my taste buds? I did cleanse with water in between, which is great. At least 4 or 5 ounces maybe. Good way to stay hydrated and cleanse the palate at the same time. But seriously, this one, it's awesomely different, but it's got me confused because I'm getting tastes that and aromas originally that I shouldn't necessarily be getting. Not unpleasant, actually very pleasant, but it's just so far removed from the description that I gotta wonder why I picked up on those things. Anyway, I've rambled enough on this one. But it's definitely worth rambling about. While you're down there talking to me about the beer, letting me know what you tasted and experienced. Don't forget to like and share this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, folks, get your asses down to that tasting room. Let me know what you thought of that too. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.